As our last few students are floating in, we'd like to welcome you all to today's event. As you know, today we are here to welcome a very special guest to our NIST community in preparation for this weekend's Global Goals World Cup, which we're really excited for. So let's give it up for the whole cause and the event to start with. So in excitement for this weekend, we do have the guest honorary referee here with us today. So to give you a little bit of an introduction, as I'm sure you're all aware, Nikolaj Coster-Waldau is a Danish actor and producer, best known for his role as Jaime Lannister on Game of Thrones, just one of the most well-known TV shows. Nikolaj is heavily involved in numerous humanitarian causes outside of his acting career, including support for the Danish Red Cross, the Red Foundation, and an organization focused on fighting against HIV and AIDS. But perhaps his most important job, besides being a father to two beautiful young girls, is his role as a UNDP Goodwill ambassador, a platform he uses to tackle issues like climate change and promote gender equality. So with that said, let's welcome the man of the moment, Nikolaj Coster-Waldau, to NIST.
Can you hear me? Oh! Wow. So many young people, young and ambitious. Well, thank you to NIST for inviting me here today. I also have to thank NIST. That's how you say it, right? NIST. What does it stand for? National. Yeah. that's I want to thank you also for hosting the Global Goals World Cup on Saturday. I hope you're all coming. It's going to be fun. And so it's also, this is where the Chelsea Football Academy is at, right? We have to thank Chelsea as well. I'm a Leeds supporter. I'm not happy about this, but we have to thank Chelsea. Thank you, Chelsea. As you heard before, I'm a Goodwill ambassador for the UNDP, and I also know that you guys here at the school work very hard on the 17 global goals. I know some of you is going to tell me about your work. It's very exciting. I didn't hear the whole introduction, but there are 17 goals. When I signed on, I picked 2 of them to focus on. That was, climate change and gender equality. Obvious reasons, but my wife is from Greenland. In Greenland, you see it firsthand, the effects of the warming of the planet. So I went up there. I don't know if maybe you can go online. There's a YouTube video I did with the Google Maps, where we basically show, the receding glaciers. And this week, I'm going to the Maldives, where you also see the effects of climate change. So that's what I'm doing with UNDP. And basically, I'm just like you go to a car exhibition and you see a beautiful girl standing next to the car. I'm that girl next to the global goals. So the spotlight that I'm also an actor, of course. I work on a show called Game of Thrones, and the spotlight that affords me is basically we're trying to hand that over to the UNDP. I don't want to talk too much. I'm really happy to be here. It's nice and air-conditioned in here. So should we move on to the next? What else should we do?
So as you mentioned, we will have some of our service group representatives to be
and
coming.
Also, I have to ask you, because I hear this all the time, service group. What does that mean? It sounds like someone who's going to go mop the floor.
So we'll let 3 of our...
Down?
Sure. We'll let 3 of our service group members come and explain to you our authentic service process here at NIST. We're very proud of our service learning experiences. So with that, can we please call upon Shreyans from year 13 representing NIST Priceless, Aditi from year 11 representing Fairness, and Bruno from year 10 representing Plastic Free NIST.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Really nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. Grab a microphone. Now enlighten me, please.
So, hi. I'm not as good at this as he is.
So, hi, I'm Shreyans, and I'm one of the student leaders of this social enterprise group that we have at NIST called Priceless. For those of you who don't know, the name comes from P. Riceless, because it's based on rice, which I'll explain in a second.
Well, see, I didn't know that.
Yeah, thanks. So this group basically started last year. A group of year 12s went to the Royat province of Thailand on a service trip, and we visited in particular the Nong Pai Nongwa Elementary School. And the purpose of the trip was just to perform a needs analysis and to help build a nurse's room, actually. So we actually laid the concrete and did all that work. And in general, what we found was the school was severely lacking in its facilities. It was really underprivileged. So they didn't have a library, they didn't have a single working computer, and the students' quality of education was just being hindered, which relates to Goal 4. And then we also had a chance to talk to their parents, who are mostly rice farmers. And what we found was that they were really hardworking people, but they're being put out of business by larger conglomerates. And that's what we wanted to focus on to help, we wanted to empower them. So when we came back to NIST, we started this social enterprise group called Priceless. And our basic goal is to form a business with the rice farmers. So what we do is right now we're working with a third-party supplier called Farmer Do Organics. And we found out how much NIST, our school, buys its rice at, what price, and how much per month. And then we found a cheaper supplier. So we're in talks with NIST, and we're helping them switch to this new supplier. And we want to persuade them to allow us to have access to that saved money that they're going to save by switching to this organic supplier, which is around 8,000 baht per month. And then we're going to take that money.
$8,000?
8,000 baht. That's like $250.
I thought you said bucks. Okay.
No.
That's good.
So we'll reinvest that in the Royat community, and that can help them expand their capital. And we'll also be in agreement with them that some of that money will be used to improve that school. So in the long term, what we really want to do is empower them so they can start sending us their rice. Right now they can't because they face droughts. They just don't have the tools to do it. Once they can send it to Bangkok, we'll send it for higher profits here, and then we'll send those higher profits back to them. So we're just trying to create that chain where we're not doing charity, we're empowering them, and they're still helping themselves. And they'll send the rice, we'll send back the profits, and in the long term, their community will get stronger, their school will become better. And on the side, we're also doing a lot of sales, like this one at Global Goals, where we will be selling 450 kilos of rice, so please come by. But yeah, that's basically our goal. So we're still a relatively new group in this. We're only a few months old, but we think this is a really worthwhile cause because this community is a local community and it needs our help, and it's related to the SDG goals, and that's why we have big dreams and we're hoping to fulfill them.
That's amazing. Okay. You mind? I know. I saw the program. I was supposed to listen to all of you, and then I was going to ask a question. Can I just ask a question? But just go in, because otherwise I'll forget. So how do you? I must say I'm impressed. That was very cool. But how do you? What's the long-term plan? Does the school have? Because once you set this thing in motion,
right,
you want it to keep going, right?
Right.
In 2 years' time, probably you'll leave the school, and your friends who's in this program. How do you keep this going?
So what we do, that's why we're very, when we take in new members, we're really careful that they understand this process. So we just want to keep building on who the Royat community is supplying to. So first they're going to supply to our school, which needs around 500 kilos of rice per month, which is already a large quantity for them. Then we're going to expand to the parents of our community. One of our, last week what we did was we actually had a teacher taste test where we just prepared the rice and gave it to teachers and had some curry, and they gave us their feedback, and 100% of teachers said they liked it more than our school rice, which is nice. Yeah. So then we want to appeal to the teacher community. Maybe that monthly order of rice that
Did you add some vinegar in the other rice? you did, didn't you? You just, anyway, sorry.
Maybe. So eventually, every month you go to the supermarket, you buy your rice from there. If we can supply you with that, we'll just deliver it to your classroom. That's so much easier for you. And just keep expanding our community. So from schools to teachers to parents to maybe restaurants in Bangkok, like other groups at Fairness. I know they're already a few stages ahead of us. So just keep building it. So, and that's what we want to have our younger students do. So this Royat community can keep improving more and more.
Yep. Again. That's really cool. Very cool. All right, let me have the next one.
Hi, I'm Aditi, and I'll be representing Fairness today. So basically, Fairness is a student-led social enterprise that works with coffee farmers in a small village called Amgoy Meramet Amgoy in northern Thailand. It approximately has 300 people in it, all coffee farmers. They produce quality
How
coffee.
far away from here is that? Because
That's about 3 hours, 3 to 4 hours from here, plus a 3-hour hike
okay.
to, yeah.
So
It's
when you found this place, you were like, I want to go here.
I think so,
Okay.
yes.
All right. Okay. Sorry.
So they produce quality coffee, but are only paid 15 baht per kilo, which is really low for the quality they produce. So we partnered up with Thai High, which is a coffee processor in Thailand. And they're the best coffee processors in Thailand. And we have partnered up with them to provide the farmers with fairer wage. So they get about 1/3 of what the retail price is, which is about 300 baht.
Wow.
So
From 15 to 300.
that's
Wow.
a lot. And so we not only aim to provide them with fairer wage, but we also are teaching them to upskill and improve the quality of the coffee they're producing. And to do that, we usually frequently visit Amgoy, and we interact with the farmers and teach them new ways or methods of sustainable production so that they don't run out or are able to produce a much better quality of coffee instead of what they're producing right now. And we usually sell our coffee for 300 baht per 250 grams, which gives us a lot of profit, about 628 per kilo, which we put into projects for improving clean water and sanitation, as they're uphill and they have no access to water or sanitation.
Oh, wow.
So last trip we made, we actually built water filters and pipes that would bring water from downhill to uphill.
So when you say you build it.
Yeah, we
Like
actually built it.
You got your hands dirty.
Yes, we do.
God damn. I'm going to have to send my girls to school down here. This is really cool. All right, go on. Sorry.
And that's basically.
Sorry, I didn't mean to curse. I don't know if I offended anyone. I really apologize. Sorry.
So yeah, we go down there about every year at the end of September. And last year we built water filters and toilets so they don't have to go out and poop in random places.
To stop your head.
Yes. And we grew from a service group called To Develop at NIST itself, but we separated from them to focus on these coffee farmers and encourage fair trade.
Okay, I got it.
That's it.
So, I mean, there are so many. Guys, this is impressive. I'm in awe of you guys. This is really cool. So, but I have to understand this. So when you say, I know I'm focusing maybe on something, a small part of this, but because it's so cool that you use the profit, you reinvest to make the lives better for these people. And also, from get-go, they make, they make more money, which is good. But when you say you go and build toilets and you build, I mean, I like kids. I'm not sure I would want them to make my toilets, but how does this work?
We don't do all the labor, but
thank
we
God.
help the labor do it.
So there are professionals involved
There
as well.
are professionals who do that.
I can just see. Oh no, that's not good. No, but that's. I mean, again, how did you find these? I mean, how does it work? Is it 100% student controlled?
Yes.
So you go out and someone in your group says, listen, there's these coffee farmers. I think we might be able to do something here. And how do you find these? Because it's clearly, it worked and it's amazing, and I'm just curious how the process is.
So we already knew that northern Thailand was known for coffee production, and we actually did some research into it and found out that Meramet Amgoy produces the best quality of coffee, but is the least paid, which kind of
Yeah, that
was a
makes sense.
problem. That's not how it's supposed to be. But they weren't able to fight for their rights because they're such a small community, and they don't really know
Didn't understand
what
that.
what
They didn't understand the quality
yeah,
of
they
the
did.
leverage
They
they
did
had.
not.
No.
Yeah, and so that's how we're trying to help them. We're trying to create awareness about how they.
So how?
Put
So
in so much hard
sorry,
work.
the group. How old are you in your group on average?
I joined Fairness 2 years ago, but
And how old are you? Sorry, if,
It's
6.
4 years. Fairness has been.
How old
at
are you
NIST.
now at the group?
15.
15.
I'm 15.
Is that an average? So between 10 and
Yeah.
15?
I would say 14 to 16, more so.
Well, that's amazing
16
because it
years
just
old.
shows that age is not an
Yeah.
issue, right? If you want to make social change in this
Yes.
world, you just do it.
Yeah.
You act. But seriously, it's amazing. You understand how privileged you are, right? And the responsibility that goes with that. Well, it seems that you do because clearly you're already helping other people. I'm just thrilled. I wish this would be like in every school in the world. You go in and they go, yeah, we just helped some farmers. No, but I mean it. I'm really cool. Now I thank you so much. I can't wait to hear the last one.
Hi, my name is Bruno. I'm in year 10, and I'm representing Plastic Free Nest. So I'm in year 10. We have down to year 7. We're a service group. We aim to eradicate the use of plastic in our school through various means, whether it's introducing new systems to be implemented into our school, or simply just by educating the NIST community. So since this is all about global goals, we fall under number 12, responsible consumption and production. It links to our vision, where all members of the NIST community understand the importance of their actions related to plastic consumption. And number 14, life below water, where all natural biodiverse habitats are maintained safely and sustainably. Some of the main highlights of our successes. Previously, we've sold stainless steel reusable cups to members of the NIST community, so this has been a project where we've been able to involve the extended group of the NIST community, so not just the students, but also parents and teachers, allowing them to act upon reducing plastic consumption by buying their own reusable cup, and so they don't create as much plastic waste. Also, we've helped to change the previously used plastic cups in the NIST cafeterias to what they are now, the natural material-based cups. So it doesn't create any plastic waste, and we're helping the environment. And finally, we've helped to introduce a discount for those who bring their own reusable cup. So it's like a win-win situation. They can bring their own reusable cup and get a discount for their drink, and they're not contributing to plastic waste. And some initiatives that we hope to bring around in the future. We have a campaign called The Final Straw, where there'll be no straws offered by NIST Catering.
Is that an online thing? Because I just got I got this thing. Someone wanted me to do like a final straw thing.
It's like advertising.
Advertising, but they wanted me to do a video where I was like, I'm never going to use a straw again. Is that the same thing? Is that you? Was that you?
No. It might be like closely related, but not
All right. Well,
directly
there
from
was that thing about plastic straws. They never used that again, and it's a big thing online. So okay, so
yeah,
it
well,
wasn't
that's
you.
one of our aims for NIST Catering. So we encourage the NIST community to either bring their own reusable straw, or contrary to that, we are looking to implement bamboo straws into the NIST community. So it's like offering as a replacement. It doesn't create any plastic waste, and it's much more sustainable. But all in all, we have to give credit to the NIST community. They've been very supportive of all the actions we brought around. And so knowing that, we look forward to many more future successes to come. I'd like to finish by saying that if everyone understands the importance of their actions related to plastic consumption, and we work towards reducing plastic consumption on an individual scale, then collectively we can truly make a difference. And that.
So why did you guys pick this?
Plastic plastic.
Yeah.
It goes back to year 7. We're in year 10 now.
Yeah.
In the curriculum, they're frequently teaching us about sustainability. So one of the projects towards the end of the year in year 7 was about sustainability and innovation week, and I specifically was in the plastic group. So we did many awareness projects about helping to reduce plastic and the plastic problem in Thailand, since Thailand is one of the main contributors to plastic waste.
It is? I
Yeah.
didn't know that. Okay.
One of them. So then that provoked us to start ECA, which is now a service group. Yeah, now.
And how big has your, how big of an impact do you feel like you've had?
We're pretty recognized. We're only year 10. We're the younger students, I guess. But we've implemented changes into the school, which have gone towards our goal. So.
And now this may be but when you do this work, just for you personally, how do you see that it affects your everyday life in other ways?
Well, yeah, I think what we're doing, we give opportunities to other people who aren't directly involved in the service group, but they can see if we're making a difference and how they can change the way they act.
Yeah.
And so if I can see other people using their own reusable cup, then it shows that what we're doing is effective.
Cool. And if I have to ask all of you, so the 17 global goals, this might be an obvious question, but I'm just curious what your answer would be, because then I can steal it. Why are those 17 goals important, or are they important to you?
Yeah, they're very important.
Why?
They shape the future, and this is what we should strive to accomplish. We should all try and tackle one that we think is most important to us, and then collectively we can work towards completing each one.
Do you think it's possible by 2030?
I think 2030 is very ambitious, but maybe add another 10 years.
Well, how old are you?
15.
It's almost a whole lifetime then for you. We can do it in a lifetime, right?
Yeah.
I think
if you think about it like that.
Yeah. What are you guys? What do you think about it?
I feel that the sustainable goals are really important to achieve, is because they're all-rounded, so they ensure that everyone's equal while quality of life is improved and everyone gets equal opportunities and to improve their lives, which is really important when we look at the growth of the world as a whole. And focusing on smaller local areas helps us achieve a larger goal, which I think the sustainable goals do very well.
Yeah. Good. I'll take that. I'll take yours as well.
I would say they're really important, and I think the reason behind that is that it unites all of us. So whether we're talking about countries or whether we're talking about schools or just people, when you have these sustainable development goals, there's this idea that this is what we're working towards collectively. Like, for example, at NIST, I'm also part of the Model United Nations, and over there you see a lot of conflict between countries, whether that's on religious issues or armed conflicts. But the Sustainable Development Goals is something every country wants for itself, and if you want it for yourself, then you also have to help the greater community, the world, get it, basically. And I think the last goal, the partnership for the goal, pretty much summarizes it all, that we have to work together if we want these to come true. And like Bruno said, 2030 does sound scary, but I think if we unite together and actually work towards them, and these are just a few examples over the world, a lot of people are doing great things. If we work together, we can make it happen.
Yes. Yes. Also, I think for me the beautiful thing is that they are made by the people. It's I think was it 10 million people that wrote in with suggestions for what they thought was the most important thing. And I think the thing is, it's very difficult to argue against any of these goals. It's no, I don't want to end poverty. Why would you? It's all valid, and we all understand it. I'm really inspired. Thank you so much for telling. This is such a cool school. Really?
Right, so
And you
these
seem to like each other. Now, so I have one question. So where's the service group that's about just having fun and you just like every Friday, no, party? But you have fun while you do this, right? Yeah, that's the thing. You help other people. You have fun. It's
So
just, I'm I can't wait to talk to my daughters. Poor girls. I dragged them to New York last week to the UN meeting, and they were very impressed. They would have been really impressed today as well. I mean, I'm very impressed. I want to go back to school. Would that be weird if I sat in?
You should stay here.
Yeah, I would like to do it.
Stay for a couple of months.
That would be great. I have to go back to work next week, but. Well, thank you. Is there any?
Yep. So with that, we'll just be opening the floor up to a few questions from the audience. There are a couple of microphones running around, so just if you do have a question, try and keep it relevant to what we're talking about here. Raise your hand up, and they will come around. So.
Hello.
Hello.
Could you please elaborate on some of the current issues you're working on, some of the projects?
Well, what I'm working on is really what UNDP is working on. I'm just trying to raise awareness of the work they do. Later today, after this, we're going to go and look at some projects here in Bangkok, trying to make sustainable tourism. Tomorrow, we're going to the mangrove plantation, and then of course on Saturday we have the Global Goals World Cup. So it's all about raising awareness of these things. Then I go to the Maldives, as I said, and that's focused very much on the issues of climate change and how that affects those islands. It's quite scary out there. I have two daughters, and it's so cool to see here. Is it more or less 50-50, or there's a lot of girls, a lot of boys? And you seem to be, that's the whole thing. The future, you come from all over the world, right? More or less? Was it 50, 55 countries? 70? Oh, 7? Oh, we have to be exact. 57. Okay, it's not 55, it's not, okay. So you have all kinds of backgrounds. But if you look at it globally, women are still at such a disadvantage, and it just doesn't make sense. I think that's one of the biggest issues, and one of those where we need to. I remember the front page news yesterday in the world was that women were allowed to drive a car in Saudi Arabia, and I'm thinking it's great that they can do that, but that's a front page story. That's still an issue in some parts of the world is mind-boggling to me. Everyone has to be involved if we want to solve these problems. Women are key. So that's one of the main things, and of course climate change. So those two. That was a long answer to a short question. I'll try to make it shorter next time.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Yeah, here.
Right there.
Sorry. To be an ambassador often means to be the face and voice of an organization. What has this been like for you?
I've been here for a year, a little over a year. It's been, for me, I care about these things as well. So I'm very lucky to be asked to do this thing. I get to meet you guys today, and I really find this is a privilege to me. I understand that being on television is a very powerful medium, or streaming, whatever we call it now, right? That I can go all over the world and people can, that's the guy from that show. So you'll come and you'll listen to this, and then you'll listen. Like today, it's these three guys. They have something really important to tell. I don't have much to say myself, but that's my job, and I really appreciate it because I do believe in knowledge. I believe in experts. I believe that if someone studies something their whole lives, we should pay attention to what they say, and we shouldn't just go, well, I don't like what they say. We should listen to them. So I just want to shine a spotlight on these guys. So how's it been? It's been great. You're welcome.
throughout these few years that you've been touring around, and
Yes.
what type of projects have you taken interest in?
Well, all of them, to be fair. I've had some pretty amazing experiences. I was in my wife's from Greenland. We have a house there, so we did a film up there, as I mentioned earlier. And there was a moment when we were trekking these glaciers, and we flew in a helicopter and landed in this glacier that kind of usually glaciers end in the ocean, but this was on land. So you had all these beached whales of ice, and we landed in. That was pretty amazing. I mean, that just stands out. I think last week I was in New York, and I was very lucky to meet Malala, who won the Nobel Peace Prize. That was another time when I met, I don't know how, she's 20 or 19, a young person like today, where I'm just, in awe and proud to be human. I think the funny thing, that thing, people, there's a lot of pessimism in the world, and if you follow the news, you would think that every day is probably going to be our last. But there was a question I was given last week where someone said, when was the last time a stranger did something nice to you? And I was like, you don't really remember those things. You remember all the idiots, because they stand out. The guy who just gives you the finger in traffic, he stands out because most people are really nice. Most people actually want to help others. I really have, I'm a great optimist in the future, and I do believe we can achieve these goals. If not by 2030, then by 2040 or 50. But we will get there. There's absolutely no doubt. Also because we don't have the alternative is pretty dire. So we will.
Okay, as we are a little bit short for time, we'll take this, and then we'll take this question, and then we'll take one last question.
And no pressure. Just make it count.
Hello. Hi. My question for you today is, before today, did you know anything about these sustainable development goals? Were you aware of them? And if so, were any of your efforts kind of catered towards solving these, or are you just kind of like freestyling in a way, if you don't know? Sorry.
Yeah. No, I didn't know about them because, as I said, I've been a Goodwill ambassador for trying to raise awareness of the 17 Sustainable Development Goals for the last year. So I've spent a lot of time, learning about them. So yeah, I have. Yeah.
Okay, we'll be taking one
there's
final.
one more?
Up there. Okay.
Hi.
I wanted to ask if there's one global goal or sustainable development goal that you would want to be solved, kind of, but not really short term, but that it would last for.
I think we
long
have
as
to
it
deal
could.
with climate action. We have to deal with that because that's the big unknown, and everything. I mean, all bets are off if we don't deal with that. If we can't, contain this overheating of our planet, it's going to affect all the other goals because suddenly we are going into massive droughts. We're going to go into extreme flooding. We have no idea what's going to happen, and then. I mean, worst case scenario, there's like predictions that say up to like a billion climate refugees. We don't want to go there, so we have to deal with that. And except for 3 countries, the whole world is behind the Paris Agreement. We're moving forward. So we will deal with it, and we are dealing with it. But yes, if I had to pick, I don't want to pick one because they're all very important.
Well, thank you, and thank you to the students for their questions so far. Let's give them a round of applause. I am sorry that we're a little bit short for time, but as the students know for sure, and as you may or may not know, but these are 3 of just numerous service groups that we do have here at school and different initiatives that we see students taking, but you'll see more of them on Saturday. But we just wanted to bring these three up as we will be giving you some items in your little NIST gift bag from these three
I get a
service
gift
groups as
bag.
well. So with that, can we please have Mr. Brett come up to present Nikolaj with the gift bag?
Thank you. I've got a gift bag. Is that the coffee? Yay! Yes, yes, yes. I will say Oh, you want to say a few? No, I don't mind that. No.
I just think we're so lucky. As a school, we really value the arts. So to have an actor, producer, screenwriter of Nikolaj's acclaim is just a huge honor for us as a school. But I think equally important for us is what Nikolaj stands for in terms of his values and the efforts that he's making to put the spotlight on these very important issues. And as we started to learn a little bit about Nikolaj before he came, we did a bit of background research, we noticed that there's a great alignment between the things we value as a community and the things that he's standing for. So it's a real privilege to have him here today. In our mission statement, we have the words, to enrich lives. And very clearly, he's doing that. He's putting the spotlight on the UN development goals and making that difference, which making a difference in the lives of so many people. Today, we got to hear from our students, and that's always an absolute privilege. We're always so proud of them. And when I hear their thinking, I'm always just amazed. But also, I'm always left with a strong sense of hope that the future's in really good hands. And I'd like to thank the three of you for doing such an admirable job today. Well done. And finally, Nikolaj's time in Bangkok is really short, and he's prioritized getting out into the community and showing support for the many great initiatives that are happening here in Thailand. So the fact, Nikolaj, that you've taken this time today, you've put this time aside, you've just got off the plane, and you've given this opportunity to our students. We're incredibly grateful, and we would like to thank you and wish you all the very best for your time in Thailand, and wish you good luck for your refereeing on Saturday.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I just want to say, well, thank you to you. I really mean it when I say that I love this. I mean, I'm so happy to hear your stories, and all of you, to meet all of you. It's just you're the future. I know it's such a cliche, but it's true though. And if you are if you guys are an indication of the future, my God, we're in good hands. But just remember, you also have a huge responsibility. I know it's annoying to hear when you're like 14. I don't want to care. I don't care about what you do, because you are probably going to be a lot of you are going to be leaders in the future. So, make the world better. Okay.
We'll be doing a really quick group photo on stage, after which point we'll do an audience photo as well. So give us a couple minutes, we'll take a quick photo.
I'll put that here? Okay. What do we do with the photo? Oh, the camera's over here. All right. Why don't we move that back? Okay. All right, get close. All right. Get in there. There we go. You got it?